PE1458 by Peter Cherby on a register of interests of members of Scotland's judiciary, and PE1633 by Bill Alexander on private criminal prosecution in Scotland. Taking each in turn, PE1458 calls on the Scottish Government to urge calls on the Scottish Parliament to urge the Scottish Government to create a register of pecuniary interests of judges bill, as is currently being considered in New Zealand's Parliament, or amend present legislation to require all members of the judiciary in Scotland to submit their interests and hospitality received to a publicly available register of interest. This is the committee's third consideration of this petition. I refer members to Annex A of Paper 4, which details the response received from the Scottish Courts Tribunal Service. The committee is asked to consider what, if any, further action it wishes to undertake in relation to this petition. The options available include keeping the petition open, keeping it open and taking additional actions such as writing to the Cabinet Secretary and or others, or closing the petition. Can I seek members' views? Daniel John.
When we previously looked at this petition, I think there are reasons to examine this. Everything that I say, I bear in mind our duty to uphold the independence of the judiciary. However, I don't believe that openness and transparency contradict that. I note that the evidence that the Petitions Committee took was some time ago, in 2013, I believe. And therefore, I was wondering whether or not the committee might want to pull together information regarding how other countries approach this point, and perhaps also, given that we have a new Cabinet Secretary, request his views on the matter. So those would be my two suggestions at this point in time.
Okay. John Finnie.
Thank you, Convener. I would fully endorse Daniel Johnson's view on this, and particularly the comment about the independence. But there's a tension there. There's an obvious tension that there's a not unreasonable, in my view, public expectation that they understand that there are no conflicts of interest. Now, we know about from their papers about the recusal register. That doesn't seem comprehensive enough to me. So the proposal to try and find out other proposals, particularly perhaps from the New Zealand perspective, how that's progressing would be helpful, I think.
Okay. Rona.
Yeah, really just to say that I totally agree with Daniel and John on this. I think some more information would be helpful. I think it is a really important issue, and transparency has to be the key, and I think we could do with having more information.
Are there any other views from other members? Yes, one more, Daniel.
My understanding is that the bill that was before the New Zealand Parliament was either withdrawn or defeated, but I do understand that such a register exists in other jurisdictions. I think Norway was one that has been mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Yes, clearly there's huge issues at stake here, and a fine balance has to be struck. I certainly would like to know a little bit more about the recusal code or policy, how this works, when a conflict of interest is declared, how much detail is recorded, and if that detail is in the public domain, I think would be quite good to look at. And I'm getting the impression from members that you would quite like to at least explore and have a look at any legislation from other countries. Norway was mentioned, New Zealand didn't go forward with it, but it would be good perhaps to look at what they said. And as Daniel Johnson rightly points out, we have a new Cabinet Secretary, so it would be good to seek his views. Are members content to progress then doing these three things? Okay. Right, that's great. Thank you very much.